I'm joined this evening by a range of other colleagues from across the department who you'll see on the screen, and they include people working in our frontline teams, colleagues working within the recruitment process, and those who support the development of practice for our frontline teams. They will introduce themselves when they start presenting to you later on. I don't know whether we can have up the slide, Alex, around actually what we're going to be covering this evening.
Yes, of course.
Thank you. So, as you will see by the slide coming up on the screen, this evening we'll be covering a range of areas, including information around living in Norfolk, the benefits and support on offer from Norfolk County Council, an opportunity to listen to some of our frontline practitioners and how to apply for the job, including some hints and tips, and at the end you will have an opportunity to ask us any questions. Here in Norfolk, we have a wide range of opportunities for social workers across our different teams and services, which include our physical disabilities, our older people, our mental health, our preparing for adult life, which is our transitional teams, and people from abroad, to name a few. More information around these teams will be given later. Before I pass over, I'd like to provide a brief overview of our practice base here in Norfolk. We have been working over a period of time now on our promoting independent strategy. At the heart of this is Living Well, Norfolk social work practice approach. The summary of this is actually Living Well, conversations between equals at the heart of social work. Based on Partners for Change 3 Conversations model, it was introduced with a clear requirement to improve outcomes for the people we support with social care needs and those who care for them. It puts the person front and centre using a strength-based approach. It supports individuals in the context of their own families, communities, and circle of support. It empowers them to remain independent for longer, preventing, reducing, and delaying the need for formal services. I will now pass over to Grace and Alex, who will introduce themselves.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alexandrina Geffier. I am the resourcing advisor working in recruitment. However, I am assigned to adult social services, and I'm helping with recruitment of social workers and international recruitment. Grace?
Thanks, Alex. My name's Grace. I'm the recruitment business partner for adult social services. So I support Alex and other team members in the recruitment and onboarding of social workers, both nationally and internationally, alongside APs, OTs, TMs as well.
Thank you, Grace. I will go further with the slide and I will start presenting where are we and what can we offer. So for any of you that don't know what Norfolk is, I have attached a map for you. So Norfolk is a beautiful county, is a really hidden gem with over 90 miles of unspoiled coastline and the unique Broadlines National Park. Thriving communities live and work in busy market towns, seaside resorts, and in the city of Norwich. As mentioned, at the heart of our county is the vibrant city of Norwich, with excellent shopping, a vast area of restaurants and pubs. Norwich was rated one of the best places to live in the UK by Sunday Times in 2022 and the best English city in which to raise a family. Norwich has an international airport with flights to Schiphol, Amsterdam, and then onwards to the rest of the world. Direct train lines to London from Norwich and King's Lynn take only 1 hour and 50 minutes, and you can get to Cambridge from Norwich in under an hour. There is nowhere better to achieve the perfect balance between work, life for you and your family. Our county had cheaper house prices, even in Norfolk, Cambridgeshire, and Essex last year, with average being 290k. To sum up everything, Norfolk is a great place to live, work, study, visit, and even relocate. And if you didn't have a chance to visit Norfolk so far, I want to share with you a video so you can see what Norfolk has to offer.
I can't hear any sound. Is there supposed to be sound on this? Because I can't hear it.
I will invite my colleague Caroline to cover the next slide, actually the 5th topics on the page around induction, support, the ASYE program, training and progression opportunities you can benefit of if you decide to work for a Norfolk County Council.
So hello and thank you everyone. You may have noted we had the video. Apologies that the sound wasn't there. It was more of a musical background, so I don't think you've missed any sort of particular information there, but hopefully you enjoyed the video nonetheless. So my name's Caroline Bowman. I'm a team manager social worker. I've worked at Norfolk County Council since I qualified in 2004 with a wide range of experience supporting adults with learning disabilities, adults with mental health needs, and in the last sort of four-ish years working with the Norfolk Institute for Practice Excellence, which is known as NIPE, which is part of Adult Social Services, and in the last year working as a team manager in the team. So a very brief synopsis of me and my career. And I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about what to expect by joining Norfolk County Council. So firstly, I'd just like to say that we're really keen to receive applications from newly qualified social workers returning to practice, social workers who are in practice but maybe working in non-statutory settings or within other local authorities, and also our internationally educated colleagues, social workers too. We're really keen to receive all your applications. And as we go through the slides, you'll receive some sort of tips in terms of application. In Norfolk County Council, our induction includes a 12-week of weekly sessions called the Introduction to Social Care in Norfolk, and that's an opportunity for our assistant practitioners, social workers and occupational therapists to come together and to reflect on their experiences joining their teams and the department, as well as focusing on themes like the Mental Capacity Act, safeguarding, equality, diversity, inclusion, how we prepare for assessments. There's just some of examples of the 12 sessions. In the induction that we offer, well-being is streamlined throughout it, just like the Care Act. The central plank is well-being, and we really, take that approach too in terms of the support for our colleagues, both when they join and also throughout their career. The induction that we offer, the 12 sessions, also supports the type of induction you'd expect in your teams. So that would be opportunities to discuss your goals, to have opportunities to shadow and complete sort of joint visits and social work interventions, as well as training, which would cover the sort of topics you'd expect in terms of our Live and Well approach, which Andrew mentioned, which encapsulates aspects of the Care Act, safeguarding training, Mental Capacity Act training, understanding autism. There's a huge plethora really of support available in training in those early days. For people who are newly qualified or about to qualify, we offer the assessed and supported year of employment, and that's really part of the bread and butter of our NIPE team. The NIPE team supports our newly qualified social workers as well as our newly qualified occupational therapists. And if you would like more information on the assessed and supported year of employment, I'd really recommend having a look on the Skills for Care website. They give a really good overview of the ASYE, and that is a must. If you are a newly qualified social worker, it is a must in terms of what we offer. But the offer enables you to receive the personalised support you need to really develop your skills and knowledge. I've just seen a comment to suggest that you can't hear me. Alex, could I just ask?
No, we can hear you now. That was the sound from before. Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you, lovely. Okay, in terms of if you are returning to practice, again, that individualised approach is key to the starting of your career within Norfolk County Council. And for our international educated social workers, we're currently developing a programme of support, as well as providing sort of bespoke peer support opportunities too. In terms of further training and development, we have really close working relationships with the University of East Anglia, and there you can complete modules that may support you if you're in your ASYE year, or it could support you in terms of becoming approved mental health professional, a best interest assessor, an approved mental health professional, as well as leadership modules too. I think now if I could move over to Alex to continue in terms of the other subject areas here, please.
Yes, of course. So in terms of great work-life balance, you can achieve the work-life balance that suits you. We offer flexible working hours, 9-day fortnights, part-time and full-time jobs with hybrid working and the opportunity to work from home. When you're not at work, I guess there is no better place to live and relax than Norfolk. If you're thinking to relocate to Norfolk, we are offering a relocation package up to £10,000 and also a £2,000 welcome payments for experienced social workers, practice consultants, and team managers new to Norfolk County Council. We're offering an award-winning career average pension scheme that gives you an additional 15.5% towards your contribution. You have the opportunity to join Norfolk Rewards for discounts at a host of retailers. Generous annual leave entitlement of between 32 and 39 days per year, including bank holidays, access to services to support your health and well-being, the option to buy extra pension and additional leave, the cycle to work scheme, and also traveling discounts. As Andrew mentioned in the beginning of our event, you will have the chance to meet some of our colleagues that join our event this evening and to hear about their teams and experience with Norfolk County Council. So I want to start by introducing Monica Owolabi, practice consultant in the social care community engagement team.
Hello, everyone. My name is Monica Owolabi, and I'm practice consultant in social care community engagement team. I came to Norfolk over 18 years ago. Initially, I did not plan to stay here, but I did, and I don't regret, and I never looked back, because Norfolk is a really beautiful place to be, to live and to raise the family. So I qualified here in Norwich over 10 years ago, and initially I started working in children's services, and then I moved to adult social care. So in terms of social care community engagement team, called SKI, is the front door for adult services covering the whole of Norfolk. So all referrals about adults in need come to SKI, and the referrals can be done either via phone, so other professionals or public of members can ring customer services and they will complete the referral over the phone and will send to SKI, or referrals can be completed online. So SKI is a large team comprising around 75 members, 60 assistant practitioners, 4 occupational therapists, 2 living well officers, 2 team managers, and 7 social worker practice consultants. The work covers a wide range of needs across learning disability, mental health, safeguarding, physical disability, and older people. All of the work is undertaken on the telephone. So this job is suitable for persons who either do not drive or do not have a car available to them. So there's no home visits, there is no face-to-face interaction. However, there is a requirement to work from office at least once a week. So as I said, SKI works in a hybrid manner. our normal pattern is 4 days working from home and 1 day working from County Hall. However, if someone wants or needs to work more days from County Hall, this is available to them. And all our staff are really well supported, and this includes individual supervision, peer group support, and access to all appropriate training. And additionally, all our new assistant practitioners who joined SKI have an excellent induction which runs for 12 weeks, and we have our own trainer who offers support for 12 weeks or even longer if needed. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. Now we'll hear from Claire Ashworth, Team Manager and Approved Mental Health Professional in Mental Health Social Care Teams, West Norfolk.
Thank you, Alexandria. My name is Claire Ashworth and I work in the West for mental health social care. A little bit about myself. I have been a qualified social worker for too long. It feels like about 18 years or so, most of which I have spent within mental health services in Norfolk. Moving over to Norfolk County Council from Norfolk and Suffolk Foundation Trust in 2014 when the Section 75 agreement within mental health and social care ceased. So I've been working for NCC now since 2014, since we came over. And initially I was the inpatient social worker. So working with inpatients all over the country, wherever they were. And most recently, I have done some career progression reasonably rapidly. And I'm now actually in the last year become the team manager within the West after being practice consultant within Norwich team for mental health social care. So within mental health services within Norfolk, we have got quite a lot of services under the umbrella of mental health. So we have community mental health teams within Norwich, which covers the city and central location. North, which kind of covers the coast, Cromer along the coast. East, which covers Yarmouth and Lowestoft kind of areas. The West, which is where I'm team manager, is Kings Lynn and West Norfolk, and the South, which is the Dereham Thetford area. The South team also has the forensic team, which works under the umbrella of mental health as well. The Doles team is also under the umbrella of mental health as well. So the deprivation of liberty safeguarding team comes under us. Also, the adults from abroad team, which is county-wide, as well as the Doles team, also comes under mental health as well. Within that, we also have the hospital social care team, which covers Helston Hospital. And we've got a couple of new teams as well that are just getting up and running. We have our residential and supported living reviewing team, which covers the reviews within the central Norwich and outskirts area, trying to do focus pieces of work to encourage move-ons from residential care and supported living. And then we have a new rehab team, which has been a pilot project over, and it's initially set up for 12 months, set up under the community transformation piece of work. And it's for people with complex psychosis to offer a rehab intervention. And it's working multi-agency within NSFT, Norfolk County Council, our Change, Grow, Live support services with alcohol and drug services, our NIPE service, which is the Norfolk Integrated Housing Care and Support Service, which is our block provider within mental health services, mind and legal advisors, working up with upwards of 90 people in central Norfolk. And this team is new from August last year. So it's currently going under evaluation, and obviously if the money continues, that will go on, and an expansion from April of this year is hopefully planned. That team is currently being managed by the hospital social work team, And then we have the AMP service as well, and Donna, I know, is going to tell you a little bit more about that. So within mental health services, we do quite a range of different kind of social work interventions, forensics, community mental health, DOLS, and the AMP service as well. We have a number of vacancies within each of those services, so happy to talk through in more detail after this and put you in touch with those team managers if you want any more information. So a really broad kind of overview of kind of what mental health services kind of dabble our fingers in a little bit. So please get in touch with us if you want any more information, and I'm sure myself and my other team managers will be happy to speak to you about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Claire. I will want to invite now Donna McLeod, practice consultant, approved mental health professional, and best interest assessor in the approved mental health professional team.
Hi. As Claire said, we sit under the adult mental health teams. And so what a practice consultant is in other teams, they might think it's an assistant team manager. So that's the hierarchy. And then under is the social workers, or in my team, the social work or OT AMPs. So I qualified in 2000, was in Cambridge for a short while. I've lived in East London, so I can agree with Alex that, and the others, that, you know, Norfolk is a lovely place to live. My husband is moving from East London, and he's moving here, and the house prices, if we're going to do that, is not comparable. My 5-bedroomed house is as much as he's selling his 1-bedroom flat for in East London in Bow. So just put in context for people that live in London, and it's 2 hours away. It's not, you know, it's not that far to drive, and the roads are really good. But aside from that, so in our AMP service, we are a county-wide service. So we have a team manager or a service manager, Kevin. We have 2 full-time AMP practice consultants, that's myself and another colleague, and 3 part-times. And now we have 5 permanent AMPs that are social workers. That's relatively new because the service is so busy. But in addition to that, we have around 80 AMPs that are county-wide AMPs. And so we're a service that runs, our part of the service runs from 8:30 in the morning till 5:30. And then after that, the emergency duty team takes over. However, if it's assessment led, so if we don't stop an assessment at 5:30. If your hours move on, you can choose to work flexibly. So if I'm the duty manager for the day, and that's what the practice consultants and the service manager does, then I generally go into Helston Hospital. We have an office there, and the AMPs can choose whether or not they go into the office or not. It's completely up to them. But if they are going in, we will, if they want us to be there, we'll go in and support. It's a very, very supportive team, and we support the other teams because all the other 80 AMPs are coming from the other teams, and they work, maybe depending on your working hours, is 2 to 3 times a month on a rota basis. So how people become AMPs, you need to be 2 years post qualified. You need to be released from your team, and most teams are really supportive because what the AMP role gives you is a higher level of decision making, really, and your risk assessment. It really hones those skills quite a lot because you're a very independent practitioner when you're doing your mental health act assessments. So part of the process of becoming an AMP is that you have to shadow an AMP, you have to write an application, interview, and then it's a course that's led by the University of East Anglia, the UEA, and you do a couple of assignments part-time while you're at work, and then you're released for 4 months to do your hands-on AMP training. And out of those 4 months, your 3 months that you're on placement. It's really a really good training. When you're finished, you get £500 for qualifying, and every month you get a payment of almost £169 a month. So if AMPs come from other areas, then if you're getting a job and you're already an approved mental health professional, then we'll work with you to register you, because you need to be registered with an AMP service, a local authority, and we'll work with you to bring you over to our area. If you're lapsed, if you're an AMP that you haven't practiced for a while but you want to resume AMP training, we have a number of people that have done that, and we will work with you. And we will always bring people in and do shadowing as much as people want or need to do it. Okay, so within the post-qualifying, you also have to do 3 days mandatory training, and obviously that's all provided. But it really is a supportive team, and we're there to support you. And if you work additional hours, so after your 5:30, maybe you want to do a late shift, you want to start at midday, but if you work more than your paid hours, you get paid overtime for that. And that's if you're a full-time worker, it's time and a half after your 37 hours, and double time on Sundays. And sometimes, you know, there's opportunities to work overtime if people want it. And also our out of hours, our emergency duty team often have additional work if people want to work for them as a sessional AMP. So there's lots of opportunities there for AMPs, and yeah, I can't rate it highly enough. We're a really supportive team, and we welcome people to join. I think most years, I mean, we've had more people applying for the course than there have been places the last couple of years, but we work with that, and we are a very can-do team, so we will do everything we can to make it possible for people to apply and get on their training. Okay, don't think there's anything I've forgotten. Thank you.
Lovely, thank you, Donna. Now we're going to hear from Joe Burdett, team manager in the community care, older person and physical health from West Norfolk.
Oh, hi, good evening, everybody. My name's Joe, and I will tell you, before I talk about our team, a little bit about my journey in Norfolk. I did my training in Norfolk about 10 years ago now, and I initially worked in children's services, and then I moved across to adult services, working in the learning disability team as a social worker for the transitions then, which was enabling children who were coming across to adult services to be assessed under the Care Act. After that, I then moved to be a practice consultant in what was a complex cases team, which was basically assessing our very high cost packages of care for people with learning disabilities, and that involved travelling quite a bit outside of Norfolk. And then about just as COVID hit, I got my job as a team manager over in the west of the county in the older persons and physical disabilities team. My career within Norfolk, my career has always been in Norfolk, and I think from my perspective, I just want to emphasise how excellent the continuing professional development is for Norfolk. I can't fault it. So for myself, I'm a practice educator as well, and following on from Donna, I've only just recently completed the AMP training. And I've also completed my master's degree, which I've been supported by Norfolk County Council throughout all that time. So it is always something we really encourage within the teams as well, for people to continue their learning. It's really important. So I will tell you a little bit about the team itself. So the community care team, or older persons team, are probably the biggest teams within adult social care, and they're split up throughout the county into north, south, west, east and city. I'm from the west, and within the west we're also split again into 5 clusters. My particular cluster is cluster 4, which runs up from Hunstanton right along the coast to Wells next to the sea, and then right inland. So it's quite it's a very rural area that we work in. and quite diverse as well. With we have a high percentage of older people in our area. I think we are probably the highest in Norfolk, and most of our work is undertaking Care Act assessments and reviews of packages of care. We also undertake mental capacity assessments on a regular basis, and that is really only social workers tend to do that role. And we deal with safeguardings, and so I'd say our main work is safeguardings and mental capacity assessments as social workers. My colleague Elaine will talk to you a bit more about being a social worker within our team in a minute. We also attend Section 117 meetings, which are to do with people who've been previously detained under a Section 3 of the Mental Health Act. And so it's diverse work, and it's aged from 65 upwards, is our client group. We do sometimes have some younger people come in, particularly if they have a early onset dementia. They would then probably come to us rather than the mental health team. But we also do take on from the mental health team once somebody is 65 and above with, say, long-term mental health conditions. So we also work with physical disability from 18 upwards, and put in care packages for people perhaps who've had brain injuries, or people with cerebral palsy, that type of client. I'm trying to think. We also have a hospital team, which does the hospital discharges, and I'm not going to pretend to speak a lot about that because it's always changing, to be fair, of what they're actually doing, but they facilitate getting people out of the hospital. They might do a quick assessment and then it will come over to us from locality. Our assessments, we have about 700 to 800 people on our review tray in our cluster alone, and then we take in new referrals from Ski, which Monica spoke to you about right at the beginning of this. So we're quite fast paced. We're very busy. I think from sort of 8:45 till 5:30, the day goes very fast, and I will say you will never be bored ever. We have a lot of hoarding cases that we deal with, and a lot of self-neglect. So although we have some quite fast turnarounds in some of our cases, we also do have quite a lot of long-term working, and that has increased since COVID. I don't think there's anything else I can tell you particularly. As a team, we're very supportive. We welcome newly qualified people to our team. We always try to have students with us, and we've also got apprentices. We have reflective supervision, which is every other week as a group. We have obviously regular one-to-one supervision, which social workers is with myself as the team manager, and then APs, which are assistant practitioners, is with the practice consultant. We try and do case management and reflective practice. We hybrid work, so I try to be in the office twice a week, and then people can know that I'm there, and then they'll come in. We're also very flexible with people who have children, and we try to really accommodate and have really flexible working there. So whether you leave a bit early, that sort of thing, it's not a problem. So we're very friendly, we're very welcoming. So we'd welcome any applications from anybody who's interested, or if you'd like to talk to me after this session, then by all means contact me. Thank you.
Thank you, Jo. Elaine, if you want to add something.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Elaine, and I am currently working in the team that Jo's just spoken about. I came to Norfolk actually as a locum, and when it came to the sort of lockdown period, and they were recruiting, because of a number of advantages, I decided to make an application, and delighted to stay with Norfolk as a county. The advantages for me might seem silly, but it is very supportive. Throughout the lockdown period, there were lots of wellbeing sessions, and it is very much a focus of what Norfolk promotes. The IT might seem silly, but being a locum, I have experienced other authorities, and their IT systems are good. The training is always available. I have quite recently trained as a practice educator, and it's always available, which is important, you know, to keep ahead and keep us challenged. Norfolk as itself is a lovely county to work in and to drive in. I don't live in Norfolk, so the flexible working suits me brilliantly, so I can come into the office and I can also work from home. I have used the Norfolk Rewards. That is a very decent service to sort of tap into if you want to. And overall, I find not only is our team supportive, but the management system is also supportive of social workers too. It's a very rewarding job, and I do actually love my job. And I have recently taken up the 9-day sort of rota, which suits me as well. So there's always options, which I think are important and make the life work balance better. That is the dog, by the way, in the background, because I'm at home, not actually in the mountains. Yeah, that's all I've got to say. So out of the other counties I worked at, I chose to come to Norfolk, and probably will stay here. Thank you.
Thank you, Elaine. And now we'll hear from Claire Collinson, social worker in the supported living and residential review team.
Hello, everybody, and good evening. My name's Claire Collinson, and I'm a social worker in the learning disability and residential and reviewing team. I've been in Norfolk about 15 months. Prior to that, I'd qualified in 1998. I'd worked in Suffolk as a senior social worker, in Cambridge as a senior social worker for for learning disabilities and older people and people with head injuries. I've also worked in London and also Essex, and I can honestly say, hand on heart, that I've never been so supportive as what I have been since I've been in Norfolk. Manager is absolutely fantastic. It's very good for hybrid working, as a lot of my colleagues have already said. I too have children. The flexibility of working for Norfolk is very good. My manager is really, really supportive. The training is very good. Training is excellent. And also the hybrid working, so you can, like my colleagues have said, you can come into the office and also work from home. Roads are very good. I actually live in Cambridge and work in Norwich. Don't find it an issue at all. My team work across the county, so we cover all the county, reviewing residential and supported living packages. But there's also 5 other locality teams: north, south, east, west and Norwich. The size of the teams vary much on the geographical location of the patch. Some are smaller, some are larger. Each locality team has a health team, which we work alongside, which consists of community nurses, psychiatrists, OTs. They're also working alongside the social work teams. Each team has a team manager and practice consultant. Teams we're responsible for assessing people under the Care Act and then signposting them accordingly to offer them services. Some of the services we offer are day services, supported living, residential, placements, adult placements. We have assistive technology teams who support people with work. We also do a lot of Section 117 work. I do a lot of continuing healthcare assessments. We do reviews, we do assessments, safeguarding, goals. It's all covered within our team. There's also the PFAL work, who work with young people and will set up services for them. We work with people from 18 to 65 who has a diagnosis of a learning disability. We're very supportive of people that have left social work and want to come back and retrain. We've got a few people in our team that are doing that. We've got students on placement. One of the students wanted me to say to you that she is now working with us as a qualified worker, and she said that she'd never felt so supported with what she did do in the learning disability and reviewing team. So I'm just saying that that's one of my colleagues who say that. So any questions or anything you want to talk to me about, you can email me about. Really happy to receive email from people. But yeah, Norfolk's really good to work for. And that's really all I've got to say. If you want to ask me any questions, then please do so.
Thank you, Claire. Just to let you know where else the social worker roles can be found outside of the teams that they've just been presented. So we have social care community engagement team, the emergency duty team, preparing for adult life, people from abroad team, sensory support team, the quality assurance team, integrated quality service, commissioning, continuing healthcare, the prevention of liberty team, the approved mental health professional team, and the leadership and project-based roles. I just want to share with you some quotes that our colleagues say about working for a social care in Norfolk. So we have one from a social worker in Norton locality, older person and physical disability team. They said that experience of ASYE was really good and they felt fully supported throughout. There were people I could ask if I was stuck and people available to help me, which really helped building my confidence. And learning from qualified people who were supervising me was very useful as well, learning from their experience and knowledge. I really valued the reflective times, as it's always good to talk about cases and get other perspectives and other ideas on how you might work and approach a case. The other quote is from a social worker in Est locality discharge to access team. They said that I have found out that doing the ASYE has given me more confidence in my own practice because I have had the support around me. So if I am unsure about something, I have got other people I can ask. I have nice mix of the reflective practice and then I get case discussion with my manager, which was really helpful. I want to share a video with you, so please tell me if there is an issue with the sound again. It's starring our colleague Ian Bryan, the social work and practice consultant with Eastern Mental Health, sharing his experience of becoming a social worker and working with Norfolk County Council.
For some people, you make a big difference, and that's what gives me that satisfaction, really, that you're making a change. My name's Ian Bryan, and I'm a social worker and practice consultant with the Eastern Mental Health team at Northgate Hospital in Great Yarmouth. I used to be an electrician, and I didn't enjoy being an electrician, so I started to help out my uncle who's got MS and support others in the community with volunteering. It gave me a sense of, could I do this as a job, because you've made a change to somebody's life. As an electrician, I had my basic GCSEs. That allowed me to get onto the Access course, where I could then gain my A-levels in order to get the UCAS points to get into university. I studied at university for 3 years, and during that time I'd done practice placements. That gives you the foundations you need to then begin your journey as a social worker. When I first started with Norfolk County Council, you would have regular supervisions, and that sort of allowed you to talk over any concerns you had. There's been times where I have needed extra support, and I think every person's individual and every case is different. To know that you have got that support and guidance there, if you're unsure, you can come back, speak to your manager, talk to the team, and they will reassure you and provide that support. Within social work, your team is a team. I'm really lucky in that obviously the work-life balance, family is really important as is work. So I spend a lot of time with my family in the evenings, at the weekends, and we'll go enjoy the lovely scenery and places in Norfolk, because we're really lucky to have the seafront, the beaches, different places we can go for walks. Since I've worked in Norfolk County Council, I've always found that there's that support to believe in you. Thinking back when I was an electrician, I felt quite stuck, but if I think to where I am now, I'm really pleased that I've made that change. And I don't think perhaps I would have got there without the support from Norfolk County Council and what they've provided. I would definitely recommend working for Norfolk County Council. I do feel as an employer, they're very person-centred. As you as an individual, they focus on you, and there is opportunities to progress. I'm really lucky to have achieved what I have achieved in such a short amount of time, and I'm really happy that I've made those changes.
Can I just say that Ian lives in Suffolk, so he didn't live and need to work in Norfolk. It's a choice that he made.
Thank you. We have some tips to share that we think might be helpful when applying for social work vacancies. What makes a good applications? First, you have to approach each application individually. If you are interested in a specific team, try to build your application around their requirements in the job descriptions, person specification, and even in the advert text. Demonstrate your skills and experience, provide clear evidence why you meet the key skills and essential criteria. You can try and use the STAR approach and demonstrating that. This stands for situation, task, action, and result. Try to be succinct, stay focused on the criteria of the role you're applying for, be honest. You can tailor your application to each role, but you need to be honest about your qualification and experience as you will be asked to provide evidence. And also review the details, ask someone to proofread your application and check you have provided everything requested. After your application is submitted, what happens next is you have to check your emails. Remember to check your junk folder as well, or your spam folder. If your application is successful, you'll be invited to attend an interview or an assessment. Full details will be provided of the format of the interview, but never hesitate to ask for clarification or further information if needed. If unsuccessful, also ask for feedback. Most hiring managers will be happy to provide this. Find out what you did well and where your application fell short, so it will help you approach the next one more confidently. Now I will leave Caroline to say some tips from a hiring manager point of view.
Thank you, Alex. And just to add, really, when you're completing your CV and supporting statement, do think about the job description, the person specification. We want to see that you've really sort of thought about what the role is and what your skills and knowledge are. You're experienced social workers, and you'll be familiar, potentially if you've joined or trained in the UK, of the Performance Capability Framework, which is PCF. I appreciate the abbreviations there, and the Knowledge and Skills Statement. So there's a couple of areas of research you could do also. Do think about the ethos of the organisation. That links into the department strategy. What's important about, what's attracted you to Norfolk? What is it about what you're hearing or what you know about Norfolk and our local authority? It's really lovely to see people showing that they've got that sort of, they've made that commitment to research a little bit as well if you're unfamiliar with the area and with our strategy. Andrew referred to it a little bit earlier, and it can easily be found if you're unfamiliar on Google, on our local authority page, Together for Norfolk. We're really keen to see examples of how you've promoted people's independence, prevention, early help, how your risk assessment skills, things like that. So when you do write a statement, your supporting statement, like I said, do think about the person specification, do think about your evidence. And if you're unfamiliar, for example, if you're applying from abroad, show the research you've done in terms of understanding our legislation and policy, and that will really help you that your supporting statement and CV stand out above the rest. Thank you, Alex.